Hi, I'm Terry O'Reilly, founder of OBP Australia, a service for overseas-born professionals looking to either get their first job in Australia or advance their career once they're established in their profession. Welcome to the podcast. Each episode, I'll be talking to an ex-OBP Australia client who's been successful in finding employment in Australia. We'll get to hear about their journey and what advice they have for job seekers. I first met Hasan at the end of 2020, after he'd completed his Master of Engineering Management in Australia. Finding professional employment can be tough for people on a 485 graduate visa, with no local experience and limited overseas experience. But Hasan was able to secure a rewarding job in a large corporate. He attributes his success to developing his English language skills, being willing to take advice, and upskilling in the software applications required for his industry. With the guidance he received from OBP Australia, he went from not getting any interviews to having a choice between multiple offers. Hasan, welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me on the podcast. I really appreciate for that. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. So now we first met at the end of 2020. Tell us a little bit about your journey and your efforts to find work after you graduated from your master's.
Well, it's kind of like a beautiful and a long journey. It's totally different when I came in Australia, and when I was in India, it was totally different. I was living in it was like come to Australia was a dream for me. And when I came here, I started, actually, I'm going to start from why I wanted to come to overseas, especially the English, because when I was graduating and there's a placement going on, so the company came and they asked, tell me something about yourself. All the students were sitting for the placement, and I'm the only one who had nothing to say about me. Like, I said my name and the degree I was pursuing, that's it. And after that, I got numb. I didn't say anything. It was like I knew about myself, but I didn't know English at all, and I hardly spoke at that time. And then that's made me realize that how important it is for me to learn English. And then I started.
So just to clarify, this is while you're still overseas, you had a company come and interview students, is that right?
In Australia.
In Australia, this happened?
No, that's happened back in India.
Yes. Okay. So a company comes out and they interview students, and you didn't really have much to say in English about your
because
story.
The interview was going on like on the basis of English, like how you know about yourself in English, not in Hindi, in your language.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And then what happened after that?
And after that, I realized that I need to work on myself, on my communication skills, on my English. Then I started learning on. Then I decided that I think I have to move. If I live in India, like for the entire my life, I wouldn't change. Like, I want to change myself. I want to do something different. And then I started searching for immigration and everything to move in Australia so that I can speak English well. That's the most, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So you made the decision to come to Australia. What course did you select?
Well, I did engineering in India, and then after because I was looking for some master's course in management, and then I did the engineering management, Masters of Engineering Management. I selected that because I found that it's a kind of, at that time, it's like something different which combines with some engineering part as well and the business part as well. So That's why I selected that. So
And
I,
did you find the course useful?
of course it is. It was totally different what I studied in bachelor's.
Right. Okay. And okay, you've done your masters here, and then what happened after your masters?
Uh, COVID. So after that, uh, once I graduated, I started looking for job, and then I was struggling to find the job, and then I found you and many sources which I didn't know before that, and I was searching every day, and during the lockdown, especially in Australia, it was really really hard to get the job. Then I noticed that I am lacking some skills in me. That's why it's not about you are international, you are not getting job. It's not about that. It's about that I didn't. I studied like theoretically, but I have no skills practically. So I started learning some software, some over the YouTube, some courses, and train myself every day on hand on experiences, so that I can, because if I apply in any company, they are hiring me and they're gonna pay me. They are not gonna pay me to teach me and then pay me as well. So I need to build some skills so that I can give them something in return of
Right.
money.
And what software did you learn online?
Um, there are 3D modeling softwares. Some are other. I learned the Revit. I learned AutoCAD, SolidWorks. These three softwares.
So Revit, AutoCAD, and SolidWorks are the cornerstone of software applications you need for your profession, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. So you did these courses online. What
Yes.
did you change about your job applications? You said before that you were applying but not getting any results. Now you have some skills to put in your resume. What else changed with your applications?
Um, um, it's about how I also changed the way of approach. I was applying the jobs, like I saw the post and I was applying on straight away with no experience, nothing. But I don't think so. It's good. I have to approach personally, like calling on company, networking, talk to the people who are already working in the particular company. That's the main thing we need to change, like networking.
So how did those conversations with your professional peers already working in Australia, how did they inform your decisions?
Um, mm,
Did they give you like specific guidance? Did they tell you to do this? How was it useful?
it was useful. Like it's obviously networking is always a better choice, like always good. So when you know someone, you can ask them like, am I lacking somewhere while applying the job? And they can guide. Like obviously everyone is working professionally, they don't have time, but still they can say something. We'll look on it, and you might to work on yourself a bit more,
Yeah.
particular things, so that we can consider you. So that changed a lot. And obviously in Australia, the communications, if you are good in English, definitely that's gonna work.
So just on the networking, how did you find these people to talk to?
uh there are a lot of um the LinkedIn. It's really really good, so good, uh like what you it's a good source or platform to connect with people, and it's really really easy. The company you wanted to work, you can search anyone who is working on that company and to communicate with them and to have a connection with them. It's easy.
Yeah, and did you just approach them cold or did you get introduced?
uh i uh, I send them. I always try to send them a quote with "Hi, we don't know each other, but I'm really, really interested in the company, and I really appreciate the work you are doing on a great job," something like that. And just wanted to introduce myself that I'm eager or learn something in your company or want to work with you. So these kind of things I always send them and get a reply with them. It was like it's a good gesture.
Yeah, a really useful thing to do is networking. So when did you start to get some positive feedback from your applications? When did you start to get some interviews? And tell us a little bit about
Um,
how that happened and what happened at the interviews.
After a lot of rejections, after a lot of application when I submitted, I sent to the companies, and there after when I started learning skills, then I think. And the more I gave the interview, the more I got confidence how I want to speak to them, how I have to speak in English with them, especially because when I started, I knew how to communicate, but I didn't have that much confidence, and that confidence comes after the rejections. Some people think that the rejections make them less confidence, but I took as a positive that this is the things I'm lacking. I need to work on it. And yeah, so
Did you get any feedback with the rejections, or did you just, try and work out yourself where you
yeah,
needed to improve?
I always ask them. I never ask them like, is there anything I can improve myself for my future? Then they sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. Yeah.
Right. And let's just go back. During the COVID and the difficulty finding professional work, were you doing any sort of survival job? Did you have to do anything to get money?
Well, I was doing a part-time job at that time when I was studying. I was working in a Hungry Jacks, and yeah, and then I think the lockdown, it was a survival time when we got into the lockdown, and but I managed myself. I did some other part-time job as well, like delivery, food delivery, and all the things. But I think that was a good time too.
So what is it about a part-time job that can also be useful?
Part time in Australia or in your life it's really really good. Like because when we are in India, it's the culture is different. We don't work while we are studying, but here in Australia, it's totally different. In India, you live with your parents; they give everything to you, they support you with money and everything. But here, you are on yourself, and of course, it's a expensive country as well. So it's the when you work part-time job while you studying, you learn how to manage your time, how to manage everything, how to manage your financial financial situations, and that's taught me a lot while working part-time job. Yes.
Yes, it's certainly expensive to live in Australia, and nearly every student has to work.
Yes.
It's really important. Um, okay, that's really interesting. Now, your current job, tell us a little bit about that and what your typical day looks like.
My I'm working as a design engineer in a well-reputed company is Diversify. It's a multinational company. We all over the world. Like we have a company in Japan, America, and all over Australia, and we also have a team in India as well. And typical work is like when I started working, I knew the skills what I'm gonna do, but I learned the softwares. I have trained myself in a such a way, but that's when I started working in the company is totally different. So my company does audio visual system designing, like the network of between the systems, soundbars, and LEDs, the connection between them. So that was totally different for me, and it was really new for me. And when I started working, I was stuck in between, but my colleagues are really, really supportive. They support me well. They taught me, and I was doing extra work when I'm at home after the work hours. I I trained myself, and after 2 months, I worked well, and then I worked on a big project. And currently, we are dealing with the defense all over Australia, and we are renovating. So the contract we are working on it projects. I'm working on the defense projects, and yeah, now I'm doing by my own.
That's great. Now, did you get this job via an application via LinkedIn or Seek, or how did you actually find the job? Tell us a bit about that.
Um, uh, the job I got is from the SEEK, and before that, I didn't know anything how to apply the job. Then I met you. Then you taught me how to approach the company. The OBP really, really taught me well how to like the culture of the Australia, how to communicate, how to approach the company. And I didn't know anything before that. When I met you, you really, really taught me how we have to approach. Then I started working on it. And then I keep searching the jobs over the LinkedIn, Seek, and Google, everything. I applied many of the company. You taught me how to build the resume according to the particular company, and that's how I got the job. And when I got the job, I got like two. I think I got three offer letters at the same time. Before that, I wasn't getting any of a
Wow.
single. And I got at the end, I got three offer letters, and one is from Canberra, one is from New South Wales, and one is from this Brisbane. So I selected this one because of course, this package, and the company is totally like different. It's doing something different job, like audio visual, which I wasn't aware about it before that, actually how it works. But I wanted to know about this type of industry, that how so I started on it. I selected this one.
Excellent. Look, it sounds like you've really landed on your feet and you're in a great company and you're in a job that you enjoy, which has room for professional development, it sounds like. What advice do you have for either people considering coming to Australia or fresh graduates who are looking for work in their profession?
I would say, uh, so when people come from India or from any other country, they need to focus what sort of job they like to do, what's make interested for them, what are their interests, and they have to make themselves in such a manner so that they can mold themselves according to the Australian culture, because that's totally different. And people who come from other countries, they more focus on the work, like when they are studying, but their main motive is to get the knowledge from the education, not the like. I know the part-time job is it's it's good, it's necessary, but main focus is to get the education system and education, and work on your communication skills, one on the English, because that's if we don't know the English and communication, and that's the language barrier between two different countries. And once you know how to communicate, how to be good in English, you can break that barrier and you can familiar with the cultures, with the Australians, like, or any other uh, citizens of the other countries. That's I would say, like, good in communications. Try to learn as much as you can.
Yeah, that's good advice. So you mentioned there about cultural difference. What would you say an important or significant cultural difference is between India and Australia, either just in everyday life or in the workplace?
Um, Culture difference is everywhere, and in the everyday life, in the workplace, everywhere. So I found when I started working in my current job, and it's totally different. I was looking like I have to wear formals and all, everything. I have to buy something, and I bought some formal dress up and all. And when I on the very first day of my work, I went to the work, and everyone was so casual. Like, you don't have to wear formal, or like, to be. It's very flexible, and I found that work from home is also like option. You can work from home too. So that's the thing I found, and really, really supportive. Everyone is so supportive when in my work. I found, I think this is the culture in Australia, to be supportive somewhere. I found this is the difference.
Well, that's really good to hear. And it sounds like you're in an excellent company with a good culture. So, congratulations on finding work in your profession. You've done really well there. So, good work there. Just before we finish up, is there anything else you wanted to add, either about preparing to come or anything else you wanted to add at this point?
I want to say these things, like, to not focus on the only the theoretical knowledge. Learn as the culture in Australia, uh, when we are studying, is totally different to as compared to my country. My country focus over the theoretical knowledge, but in Australia, they focus on the practical, like assignments and everything we have to do by ourselves, own everything managed by ourselves. So that's the thing, we need to be more practical. We need to be focused about the, we have to make our mind what we're gonna do in the when we move to the Australia or any other country. So make your mind what is need to be done.
Right. So I think that's a really good way to finish up. Excellent summary there of your experiences and advice to people either about to emigrate or people who are currently looking for work in their profession. So thank you very much, Hasan. Thank you for your time, and good luck for the future, and make sure you keep in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me opportunity today.
OBP Australia provides guidance and support with job applications and approaching employers, industry awareness, interview coaching, and language and communication. You'll also be introduced to your professional peers already working in Australia, so you can get the lowdown on what's happening in your industry or profession. If you're looking for guidance and support to find your next job, email me at terry@obpaustralia.com.au. Let's talk.